sat and bullshitted.
Yep.
And I knew him from like TV, like, shit. He was on so many bizarre shows. But I just knew Paul, and he was a headliner. He was like he was my first headliner to work for.
Oh, that is so cool.
And he could not have been kinder.
Yep.
And he had all these bracelets, like, not silk, just like woven, like when people make you a bracelet out of cloth or whatever. And I said, I know, why do you wear all those bracelets? He goes, oh, these are, he was very vague about it, but it was very personal. And he goes, this is what the kids make these for me. And he changed the subject. I still wasn't sure what it was, but it was very obvious that these people were very important, these children were very important to him. And I mean, it was past the point of looking good.
Right.
It was like way up his arm where you're like, bro, you might want to dial it back. But every kid had to be accounted for in his arm. And he was really cool.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
And Louis Black is just obviously one of the greatest. So if you're going to have two guys encourage you to do something, these are the guys.
And not only that, but Paul has completely signed on to my project. I mean, he's the director of my project.
I didn't know that.
He helped me shape this thing last year. We shaped and carved and carved and shaped and rewrote and edited and shaped and carved. And he's been, a great champion of my work, and also has helped me go out on limbs, vulnerable, emotional limbs for myself, in the writing and in the performing, and really teaching me to be an actor, which is very exciting for me.
There is acting when you do a show like that.
Absolutely.
And I was unable to go. You had set tickets aside for me, and I was unable to go. It was like an actual, couldn't get a babysitter situation.
I think it was, yes.
And then I don't remember who specifically, but I had about a half dozen people that have seen your show that said, I didn't think I was actually going to cry. They didn't say cry. They all very specifically said, I didn't think I was going to cry out loud. Like I kind of like I snorted or I sobbed, and I was super embarrassed until I realized everyone else was sort of, Kelly Carlin, you've created this really great organism where people can feel, and there's something, obviously, I gotta see this damn show.
Yeah.
But obviously it's incredibly visceral.
It is.
It's a subject matter that everybody's fascinated, your dad, but then it's from the point of view of somebody we've never heard from. In this regard, you, and it's an entirely unique voice, yours, without your dad's, because it'd be so easy to go up there and just go like, yeah, it's my dad, he's fucking super famous, and I'm Frank Sinatra Jr. 1, 2, summer wind came blowing in.
It would be funny if I did my dad's shit. That'd be,
that would be pretty
hysterical.
Funny. Maybe not as funny, but funny in a different way entirely. So you've done it in LA, obviously. You've done it in San Francisco.
London. Montreal. Have not done it in the UK.
Oh, you were there from vacation.
I was there for something else, yeah. San Francisco, I did it at South by Southwest. Just did it in Chicago for the Just for Laughs.
And
I'm going to Toronto, the JFL 42. I am one of the 42. Thank you very much.
Just for Laughs 42?
Yeah, the new Toronto festival they have.
What does the 42 represent? Jackie Robinson?
It's 42 acts, but it's not all comedy. So it's all hubbed around Louis C.K. The last weekend.
What has he ever done?
I don't know. I don't even know who he is. And then there's people like me doing interesting shows. David Suzuki's doing something. There's stand-up. There's theater. It's really science. There's thinking, ideas, all sorts of things. And it's
basically what we should be doing as a society.
Pretty much so.
I really sound like I'm fucking drunk, don't I? I couldn't say society. Did you hear that? As a society.
Did you take some allergy medication today?
No, nothing. I had my tea that I get from the acupuncturist, and I changed the filters in the air conditioner, and I think that's why I have had this cold so long.
That's it.
When I took the filter out, I went, oh my God, this is what we're breathing. And I went to Norris Hardware, and I said, hook me up, partner. I need some new filters for my air conditioning.
Norris Hardware used to be the Bay movie theaters back in the day.
I like Norris Hardware better.
Whatever.
I'm a guy. Hardware stores, you walk in, you're just like, this is the best. There's so many things to put in places.
Yes, no. Hardware stores. Stationary stores are mine.
It's very boy part, girl part.
Yes,
I could put this in that.
It's all male, female there.
And this will receive that.
It will.
That's how I got to explain, because I'm so stupid.
I have the girl part, I need the boy part.
Yeah. I'm that dumb.
That's okay.
Like I go there to get keys made. That takes me a half hour.
And someone else is making them.
I know. And I always stare at that guy in that little grinding wheel going, how many times that guy caught his thumb on that wheel? Which city surprised you? Which city did it not? Has there been? All right, here's a better question. Has there been a city where you were like, "Wow, this kind of sucks"? Be honest.
I am learning. Okay, first of all, I'm a green girl. I'm green at this. I do not have a lot of stage time, and my show's an hour and a half long, and so I'm gaining a lot of stage time very quickly.
A little long. I'll be honest with you. It's a little long.
It's got an intermission, but
maybe
let me tell
10.
you,
No intermission, hour 10. Where's Provenza? Get him on.
You come see first, then you say.
Look, I don't know what you do. I've never seen your work, but you're very talented. I'm never wrong at these things.
Okay.
I'm not talking to you. Call me.
So everything's been different. I've been learning a lot, but really only the one situation that really didn't work for me was when I was in Chicago last month or 2 months ago, and they booked me at the Second City Club, and it's a comedy club, and I'm there during the tech in the afternoon, and I realized that there's going to be table service. And it's a theater piece. It is really a theater piece.
You gotta get quiet.
And I'm looking around and I'm thinking, there's fucking table service. So I go to the manager. Is there table service? She's like, yeah. I'm like, really? You see, because, I don't know if this is going to work. So we worked it out. And, I said to her basically, the most important thing is that everyone has paid their check by about 20 minutes before the end because my dad's going to die at the end, and I really don't want people fucking signing their Amex slips.
Who had the Midori Sour? Huh? I didn't order a Midori Sour. George Carlin died? That was like 2 years ago. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. She's very nice.
Yeah. So that was a little weird being in that room.
Did they pull it off?
They did. They were very, very respectful.
How much of that got in your head on stage?
A little bit. It did a little bit. And also it was the kind of the room itself. It just didn't feel intimate like a theater can feel intimate where everyone's seats are this way and you have permission to cry because that's really, part of what happens in my show. And when you're at a comedy club, everyone's kind of sitting this and this things and we're sitting across from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a little weird, but you know what? I'm paying my dues. And I can't complain. The frickin' festivals invite me, and Robbie Proth, thank you very much for always bringing me along, and I appreciate it. And I'm learning. I'm learning also to not let stuff like that bother me. I was just in Vegas and was at a conference that Paul signed me up for, of course. It was called The Amazing Meeting. It's The Amazing Randy, who's this famous skeptic who's like got this $1 million challenge. If you can prove to him that you're a psychic, he'll give you $1 million. So it's all skeptics, atheists, and these, kind of rational thinkers. And they're all activists around, trying to actually keep evolution in the schools and things like that. And actually get rights.
Crazy people.
No, and there's because in the South, the atheists don't have the same civil rights as Christians. It's fascinating. So they're doing this work. And I was like, in my show, I talk about some things about encountering the transcendent and encountering my dead mother and moments that I had in my life. And I thought, some of these atheist, rationalist skeptics are not going to be happy. But I ended up filling up a ballroom with 500 people and probably got the most genuine standing ovation I've gotten so far. And this audience was so there for me emotionally. So it was really, really surprising. You just never know.
You're not an atheist.
I'm more of I don't believe in a personal God, certainly. I've been a practicing Buddhist for about 15 years. I've had tremendous experiences with the transcendent, or what they call big mind, the eternal, that sense of no mind, no body, no thought, no thinker. And I've had some weird encounters with my mother the day after she died, came to me in the shower.
Hold on. I don't want that story to be a part of another sentence because I wrote down encountering your mother.
Yes.
So you're a Buddhist.
So I'm not anyist really. I'm a seeker. I'm curious. I'm always curious, and I'm very open-minded. And
I bring it up because you were talking about the atheists and the skeptics, and
who all worship my dad, by the way, which I find that ironic that atheists worship my father.
Well,
bless you all atheists.
I mean, your dad was, there is no God.
I know, but it's just,
my wife and I listen on road trips. We'll listen to CDs of your dad and we'll go, I don't think he really thinks that. And you and I touched on that on your podcast.
Yeah, we did. And, I think...
Waking from the American Dream.
Thank you very much.
Are you still on Smodcast?
I am still on Smodcast.
Good folks.
Yes, they're fabulous
That was the most amicable divorce
Will
that's ever
Wilkins
happened.
takes care of me every week. He's an awesome guy.
Let me tell you something. Not only was Kevin Smith cool to say, yeah, go, do your own thing, but actually would call and say, is there anything else you need to do this on your own?
Oh, what a sweetie.
It was absurd.
Kevin,
I was expecting World War III.
No.
And he just showed what a gentleman
Kevin has a huge heart.
He is.
Huge
he was like, of course, teach a man to fish.
Yeah.
He texted me that once, teach a man to fish.
Oh, he's so cute.
So, your father, we touched on this in your podcast, Waking from the American Dream, where I said, my wife and I were like, I don't really think because there was other, hints, and he would just touch on such grace and such love that 100%. Is not the views 100%. Of an atheist.
Yeah, no, he's definitely, he called himself an agnostic. He was absolutely
which is great.
agnostic.
I'm all for the agnostic.
Yeah.
But to me, grace and providence and things that gentle, I don't think they exist in a world that's a set of circumstances from an atheist. Yeah. I'm oversimplifying.
He wasn't a pure materialist, I think, my father.
Right.
He believed that
that
there was a possibility, of some sort of intelligence, even if it just goes whoa out there. And always curious and a seeker about those things.
What amazes me about atheists, and you'll find this interesting because I'm a fierce independent politically. I know you're pretty far left, and I dig, you're the one that hit me to the live feeds on Occupy Wall Street and Washington Square Park on Twitter. And I remember I was up the street at a hotel going, this is happening. Look what Kelly Carlin just tweeted. This is incredible. And I'm watching people's actual live feeds of cops coming in and breaking up the party. It was fast. This is the new world we live in. And the thing about, okay, so you're left, I'm right down the middle, because I like Republican guys, I like Chris Christie, I like Gavin Newsom, I like a whole thing.
I like intelligent people.
Right, and I like Gavin Newsom is a Catholic, so he doesn't believe in gay rights or abortion, but he got elected mayor of San Francisco, so every time he voted, he had to vote for the people that put him in, not for his personal views, and I went, that's the guy.
Right.
That's the way you want to do it, and Christie breaking up the trying, going I love teachers, your union is batshit.
Right.
And all the cops and everybody in New Jersey, this is Chris, not to get into political stuff, but what I've been asked lately, and I don't know why, because of speaking about faith on this podcast, I had my priest on, Father Willie was on, and I just asked him everything. We got into pedophilia 8 minutes in.
Wow.
Nothing was off limits.
Nice.
And then suddenly, these right-wing people wanted to interview me.
Right.
Almost immediately.
Interesting.
Oh my God. He's talking about...
He's on our team.
He's talking about the Christ.
Right.
And he's in Hollywood.
Right.
And there's just such a perception of if you're in Hollywood, if you're in show business, you're a, quote, left-wing douchebag.
Yep.
And so I was on theblaze.com, which is Glenn Beck's, and the guy did this, Billy Halloway, did this great long interview about faith and my personal conversion to Catholicism. I went the opposite way of your dad.
Right.
I reached the age of reason, and then I went to Catholicism.
You and Kevin.
Because I just dug the structure, and I had a whole...
The hats and the music.
Hats, music,
The incense.
Exactly.
Come on, it's theater. It is theater.
I like the theater.
I love ritual.
It's as close as I'm going to get to Broadway.
Yes.
Yet. So then I had this long interview with the guy, and it was terrific. He goes, do you know who the Blaze website's, you know whose website it is? And I go, oh no, here it comes. It's going to be some pederast or some awful. And he goes, it's Glenn Beck's. I go, oh, I don't give a shit. If it's his thing, I just want to promote a podcast.
Right.
And if I can talk about my personal belief for the Christ, help someone else.
And if you can talk in a sensible way without having to vilify other human beings.
You said I'm a seeker. You said you were a seeker.
Yeah.
And that was my whole thing. I'm learning. I know nothing. My heart's getting larger. I'm getting smaller. And I hope that increases exponentially.
Right.
So then after that, it was Breitbart's thing and all these things. So all of a sudden, there's this right-wing group of people that want to interview me.
It's good. You're a bridge.
I am this new
That's beautiful.
bizarre bridge. But what I dig about you I love that you said I'm not an ist.
Yeah.
Like you practice Buddhism.
Yeah.
You meditate.
Yeah.
Like you're a hardcore meditator.
No, I mean, I'm not a hardcore, but I've been
Let me
practicing
finish.
a long time.
In the future, I'm the future. But what I was going to say to you about atheists, specifically to circle back, and sorry for the ramble, but I wanted to give you a little backstory, was in that article I was saying, he asked me specifically about Bill Maher and Penn Jillette, their atheism, and I said, these are two of the smartest guys around. What stuns me about atheists is their aggression and their certainty.
Yes.
And